Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 18 of the Yarnivore podcast. I am Sadie Ruin on Twitter and Instagram. Blue Ruin on Ravelry. Our Ravelry group is Yarnivorous. Or for the yarn, if you want to know about the yarn stuff, that is the Knitter's Nightmare Yarn and Fiber Rev board. Bear with me, I do have a bit of a headache today. I took something, I'm hoping it kicks in. But if I have this, scowly look, it's just because my sinuses are sore. Freaking. As always, drinking something. I'm always drinking something. Currently, it's not water, currently it's not coffee, because water is needed right now. Right, so, jumping into it, you can see I have a finished object. I have a gorgeous Haida print shirt. Well, it might be Squamish print. I don't know. Here, stare at my rack. It's got the hummingbird. It's gorgeous. I got it at the Curiosity Shop, actually, on the boardwalk in Seattle. But native art, of course I'm going to get it. I'll probably go back and get the other two designs they had, too, at some point. But we intend to visit Seattle many, many times, so why bother getting everything on the first go? So finished objects, of which I only have one. And only have one? I knit a shawl in 3 days. There's Frankie. I knit a shawl in 3 days. It was ready to go for Madrona. I bound off and laid it and sprayed it at 3 in the morning on Friday evening. So here it is finished. I did the small version, and I didn't block the points out very well because, hey, it was 3 in the morning and I needed to go to bed. But they are there. It needs to be reblocked because, of course, I didn't do a hardcore blocking because I just wanted to be able to wear the damn thing. So here it is in all of its glory. I did the small. I think I'd like to do another one and do the large because it's a really easy pattern. The pattern is by Mina Phillips, who is the Knitting Expat podcast. It's available on Ravelry. I believe it's $5 or $6. I used the called for needle size, which I believe was a 3.75 or a 4. Somewhere in there. 3.5, 3.75, or a 4. Millimeter needles, of course. So there you have it. It's big. It is my wingspan. The bigger one would be bigger than my wingspan. What I ultimately would like to have is one of those ones you can wrap around and then around your waist and tie it, because aside from the fact that I look like some sort of knitting space cowboy with a holster of some kind, then I wouldn't have to worry about the ends flopping away. And I like that. So, let's see if I can close up. You can see the texture up close. Yes, you can. Nice. It's got little... Apparently she had trouble explaining the little lifts. They're very similar to, if you've done collie wobbles or the butterfly socks. What are they? There's something butterfly. You know, it's a lifted stitch of some sort. And I think it's just the way it's described. And then it's got a gorgeous lace pattern, which I screwed up a little. I accidentally did one too many rows at the beginning before they moved over, so it just looks a little bit different. But that's fine. It works for me. This in here. I'll see if I can. There you go. Oh. Yes, show them your hands, because of course those are not lovely right now. There you go. It's a really lovely, just very simple pattern, and then you have the picot bind off to give you little nibs. Again, I have to block it out so that the lace really, really opens up, but for my intents and purposes, the slight block was good enough. I used half a skein, maybe 3/4 of a skein of Knitter's Nightmare Yarn and Fiber in the Batty sock base. The Splatterpunk colorway is on the top, and on the bottom, I think it's Myotis. It might not be Myotis. I have to look back, because all of my natural dyes are named after species of bats. I know it's not Pallas's Mastiff, that's the pink one. I know it's not the Eastern Red, but I think Myotis might be a gray So I'm not 100% sure, but I love this one. And I have quite a bit of a ball left over. I could probably make myself a tam or something to go with it. I've discovered I hate wearing beanie style hats, but slouchier hats and tams really work for me, so I have no problem knitting a couple of those. I don't need a lot of them because I tend not to wear a lot of hats because they make me look like a boy. Unless, of course, they're the slouchy or the tam, and still, even then, I have problems with it unless it's like really cold. But I am gonna go visit my mom, and it might still be really friggin' cold. Saskatchewan. Oh, Saskatchewan. So this is my finished object. I love it. It is very comfy. I do want to make the bigger one because I've found that the two shawls that I get the most wear out of personally, the ones I keep reaching for, are the Excuse Me and my Klepotis or Klepoti out of Woo-Boo. Those are both big honkin' shawls, so I can sit on the couch and wrap myself in it. These are really great for going out and looking stylish, or if I need my neck covered, but I'm a big girl and chances are I'm not going to need my neck covered unless it's minus 30, and I don't live anywhere that has minus 30, and I haven't for a bit now, so I'm not particularly worried about needing it. I didn't even find it got cold enough in Minnesota to warrant that. Sorry, I had to alternate legs. So, I don't know. It's excessive to have so many shawls. I'm going to have to start giving them away. That's just how it's going to be. Not that I don't give them away. I give away a fair bit. I think I only keep the ones that have yarn that is like gifted to me or something. Otherwise, I have the ones that people have made for me, which I wear. But yeah, no, I tend to give away a lot of the shawls I make just because since moving away from Saskatchewan, see, I need to go back to Saskatchewan to wear my friggin' knitwear. Sorry, I'm sniffly too. It's just, I am a wreck today, okay? My hair is horrible, but I'm not going to apologize for it, even though as a Canadian I feel the inherent need to do so. It's not going to happen. Not today. Okay. Knitting. Works in progress. You've seen my FO, my faux. I only have one. And let me tell you, when I knit that thing in 3 days, my hands were so friggin' sore. I couldn't knit for like a couple days after that. I actually ended up doing a lot of needlepoint or cross stitch, whatever you want to. I call it cross stitch and needlepoint the same, but I think needlepoint also encompasses like embroidery and crewel. So whatever. I was cross stitching more because I couldn't actually like hold yarn and needles without my hands hurting, which was also as a result of dyeing way too much, but we'll get into that a little later on. Okay, so next up on my needles that actually saw some work. Hold on. Gotta get out the pattern, right? Everything is precariously placed in my vicinity right now. I've got like a giant stack of yarn over here and a giant stack of yarn over here. Now, the walls will come tumbling down and trouble will ensue. Let's see. I can't remember. I have two different versions of PDF. I have the old one and the new one. And so I'm trying to wean myself off the old one by using the new one. Intermittently, I don't care. They probably got another one too. Okay, so I did get some work on this one done. There you go. You can see it's got little spiry things, and it's the What Have You Cuff Down Knit by Bit Design sock, which was part of a Desert Vista Dye Works SSK kit. I am using the gorgeous color Midnight Lake. It's on the Vista base, 7525 Superwash Merino Nylon. 462 yards of awesome. Awesome sauce. Looks like that. It does not come with crumbs. There you go. That is not true to color. Well, it's close. It's close enough. It all depends on where I hold it, because let's face it, I'm getting awesome lighting for it being an overcast day today. Like, way to go, Washington. And then I watch podcasts where they have awesome lighting, and I'm like, I hate you all. Or I look at my old podcasts where I had awesome lighting. I'm like, why? What? How do I get that back? So here's the first. I started the second. I had just finished the first one last week, so I haven't made like oodles of progress. And that again, no. Don't knit a shawl in 3 days. Your hands will really hurt. Especially if you're dyeing a lot of yarn. There are just too many things against me this week for a lot of knitting to be accomplished. So be it. I did get what I could get done. And I enjoyed every second of it. And that's the important part. It really doesn't matter how long it takes you, so long as you enjoy what you're doing. And I love those socks. Those will be fun to wear. They are taking forever. Because I have 2 pairs of patterned socks. I also realized this. And that is problematic for me. Because I should only ever have like plain socks and easy pattern socks and maybe one hard pattern, like one kind of complex pattern. But right now I have one easy pattern, one pair of stripes, one moderate, and one, so 2 moderates, like the What Have You and this one, the Comet. Those are moderate patterns, I would say, because there's patterning pretty much every row or every other row. You know, like you have to pay attention. This is not something you can do when you're like, you know, somewhat out of it. And so, or as it would be said on the Two Tangle Skeins, when it's Shark Week. I just have to take a pause here for a minute. I hadn't watched them in a while. It's been a while. I fell out of the podcast loop, and I'm returning to my old favorites, right, that are still going. And I really enjoyed them when I was in Canada, and I enjoyed them when I was in Bloomington. And then I just kind of fell off the radar of watching podcasts for a while. And so I was watching the latest episode, and I have never seen a podcast mention Menzies so many times just without even caring. It was beautiful, and I loved it, and it's awesome. And it's snarky and wonderful and very Canadian, and clearly I need to go to the east coast of Canada and hang out with them for some purpose, because I get the feeling we would, like, you know, enjoy a drink and really get stupid. In a good way, not in a bad way, but you know, like, it would be fun. So anywho, now that my Menzies rant is over, it's actually in my show notes. I put Two Tangled Skein and Menzies with a big heart around it. So yeah, that week there's no like real. It's not Shark Week here, but when it is, there's no hardcore patterning going on. It's just no. My brain goes out the window. However, these are the Comet socks. They are by Stephanie van der Linden, and you have seen them a million times. And I'm using Soft Like Kittens yarn, which you can't get, so I'm clearly a butthead, right? But I'm almost done. These should be done by the next show. So last time you saw them, I had about to there done. So I got the second repeat done. I did the heel. I turned the heel. The gusset is done, even though the pattern calls for a short row. I'm just going to bring out the pattern here. Here is what it looks like when it's not done in highly variegated yarns. And it's a size 38, 39 to 40, 41. Which I don't even give a crap about. Seriously, I don't. It probably would fit Tracy, who knows those sizes way better. I do not know those sizes way better, so I was just like, whatever. You cast on 66 stitches. I can make that work. That will fit my foot. I know how to do that. It's got your gauge for centimeters. I love it. It's Comet, Komet, Stephanie van der Linden. It is free on Ravelry. It is not the easiest pattern to understand. This was like from 2008, back in the day. That was like pre-Ravelry, wasn't it? So you have to basically understand socks in order to be able to do this pattern the way it's written. But that's not a big problem. for most people. And if you don't like short row heels, stick in your own heel. It's not a big deal. But it is a lovely pattern and is totally worth doing. And when I started doing it, I was not sold on the pattern. I didn't know why I printed it because it wasn't one of my favorites off the Socken Creative Lista. I totally just butchered that, didn't I? Socken Creative Lista. Anyway, that was the group which I navigated without knowing any German. So I'm awesome. And I printed off all the ones I liked, and I have several from then, which I want to knit. There's a purpose I have them in a binder, in plastic covers, but this one wasn't one of the ones that really sold me, so I'm surprised I did it, but I'm also really loving it. So, these should be done by next week. They are in US 1 2.25 millimeter needles. These are Chiago's. I'm doing I'm doing the two circulars. I have found this to be very clunky now. I don't think I'm going to be doing two circs for like a long time. I used to always do two circs because it was easier to remember the magic loop, and now it's like I'm either going to magic loop or DPNs. DPNs are coming back in my mind because aside from the fact that I ordered the set, because there is currently 10% off on certain needles at Knit Picks. So I was like, well, yeah, okay, I'm gonna pick up the sock set in Caspian because it's only like $25 and I get all the needles I need to make. Like, I can make knee highs with that because with knee highs I usually go up to a 3 on my calf and then I take it down and then I take the numbers down. Anyway, so I got them because I'm really enjoying DPNs and I'm really enjoying wood, and our tastes change as we move, and I'm just wondering if I was sucked into the magic loop and I'm not sure. I don't know who I am anymore. But I am going to finish the socks I have on everything, but I think after that the DPNs are coming out for a while. I really do think that I'll be going on to wood DPNs for a bit just because they don't hurt as much. I don't know, maybe it's the size of the needles. I'm also going to try some 2.5s and see if that has a big difference, but I haven't noticed a big difference, and curse my foul hands that swell. When you're putting your hands in hot and cold all the time, they get pissed off. So it's 6 of one, half dozen of another. Hold on. See my messy closet, there's my pea tree. Beep beep. She's gonna ignore me now. Beep beep. Psst, psst. Pea tree. Meow. Yeah, no. She might look at me now that I've looked away from her, but I'm not sure. Okay, so, and that one was in my Bad Amy bag, which is really old. I'm pretty sure she still does bags occasionally, but now she's more into yarn. It's my Tangerine Designs bag. You'll notice I use a lot of drawstring bags. I do. I also have zipper bags. I have always been a purse whore. Ever since I was little, I was a purse whore, and as I grow up, I'm a purse whore. You can see there's some purses dangling up here. That's a Betsy Johnson purse. I got it at a secondhand store, which I'm very excited about. But I have purses and purses. Like, there's an entire... Women like shoes. I don't care about shoes. I care about purses. I need like a million of them. I have Coach purses, Betsy Johnson's. I have Namaste, which, I thrift shop like the Dickens, and some of them are presents or gifts. And currently I'm using one my in-laws got me that has like a sugar skull on it. It's, I want to say it's a Lucky or something like that. Anywho, I have purses. I have purses coming out my wazoo. So, and I love to change them around and wear different purses and stuff. And so that translates into project bags. I will have, there's that shelf right there, that shelf. Half of it is just project bags waiting for things. But if I fill all the project bags, then I get in trouble because then I get overwhelmed and I'm not a happy camper. And oh my God, I just pulled a needle out and it had stitches on it. So talk amongst yourselves while I fix this. This is the downfall of course, using double pointed needles, is that you forget over time and you pull it out and then you have to do this. But I used to be really good at doing this because, of course, I did this at university, right? Get back here. Get back here. Because, you know, you run between classes and I always had DPNs. But there we go. Okay. Saved it. I saved it while talking too. I have to go back and knit a couple stitches, but that's no biggie. These are on Clover 2.25 millimeter needles, a US 1. And I'm going to start announcing the millimeters just to be a dick, okay? They're going before the US number because it actually makes sense to have numbers. So these are the socks for my mom. They are the Mabel socks, which is a pattern by Moi. I screwed up the foot and ended up taking the pattern down just a little bit further than I wanted, but that's fine. I mean, you can do that if you knit the pattern yourself anyway. You can do whatever you want. I do recommend making sure you start before you start decreasing for the toe. But if you do a toe up, and someone, was it Sophia von Kronholm? Sophia something Holm on Instagram. See, how's that? I totally screwed up her name. She is doing it, but she's doing it toe up, and she's flipping the pattern. That is awesome. I like it. This is, of course, Patton's Croix, which my mother has an obsession with loving. So I'm just going to go with it, because, hey, cheap socks. She likes the Patton's Croix. I'm knitting her the Patton's Croix. This is the Burnished Sierra Stripes colorway. I don't know if you can still get it. You might be able to. It might come back. I don't know. I'm on my second sock. I'm on my second ball. Petrie, are you okay? Oh, you're tired. Okay. Sometimes she gets a little wobbly and she falls into things, and that's when I have to check her blood glucose. Just to make sure it's old age and not diabetes kicking in, because sometimes she gets into the other cat's food. So I am almost done the leg. These could also be done by next week too, if I get enough knitting time in without hurting myself. So that's where I am on the second sock. As you can see, I think I've got one more repeat and I hit the heel. I just booked a flight to actually go see my mom. Fingers crossed I stay in good health until then, which is not very far away. It's going to be the mid to end of March. And because I need to get a few things taken care of, like my passport, my Canadian passport's running out, and I should probably update my treaty card because my last name's changed. Not that anyone's going to give a crap, but I would like to, you know, keep my records updated because that's important. Not that I need cheap smokes anymore, because I am still smoke free. Past the 2-month mark, I really should know how many months, but I don't right now. I am, where is it? Oh no, it's on my arm today. Let's see. Little guy. Sadly, my skin does not like sticky stuff, so I have to use multiple band-aids to keep them on. I am on the little one. As per discussions with doctors, etc., I did step 1 for 8 weeks instead of like the 6, and then I did step 2 for 4 weeks instead of 2, and step 3 for 4 weeks instead of 2, and I'm almost done the 2 weeks on step 3, the first 2 weeks. Because I was such a heavy smoker for such a long time, this is what works. It's what worked last time when I quit for many years, and I think it'll be what works this time the best. So, side tangent. Anyway, the Mabels. The Mabels are good. They got some love. I knit most of it driving to Tacoma. Tacoma's about an hour and 15 to 20 minutes away from here. We also checked out the Tacoma Mall, which was fun. It was like it's like a mini Mall of America. So that'll probably become like, you know, the destination mall for us when we feel like going mall trolling on the weekend. But they don't have a bookstore. They have a game store, which my husband was all about, but they don't have a bookstore, which made me sad, because at least when you go to the Mall of America, they've got that huge Barnes & Noble, which makes it all worthwhile. But no Barnes & Noble. What the hey? What the hey? So then, in my Slip Stitch studio bag, which is of course lovingly covered in cat hair, I'm working on the SSK knit along, the third one. The third one? Is it the third one? The first one is Charity, and that runs through the whole time. The second one was Romy Hill, and I finished that one. And so yeah, this is the third one, and it's Baby Cocktails, or Thea Coleman, and I am doing the Bailey's Irish Cream, I believe. Is that what it's called? Bailey's Irish Cream? I've just been calling it the Bailey's. Let me bring up the pattern to show you. Some people feel so bad about getting out their phones. I do not. It's not my phone, it's my iPad. It's actually my iPad. Look, it has my name on it. See? Yeah, it's the Bailey's Irish Cream by Baby Cocktails. And oh yeah, this is the one where they don't have any really good pictures. Okay, so this is the picture in the pattern, just to give you an idea. It has a little bit of the detail on the sleeves, it has the detail on the front sides, it's just a very basic raglan aside from that. One thing that really jerks my chain about this pattern, however, my chain is jerked, is the lack of a schematic. And she says, I don't feel the need to put a schematic in because it's raglan and everybody knows what raglan is. And it's like, no, I would like to know, because you put waist shaping in. And I am a fat kid, so I need to know. I am large and in charge. I need to know how much you're going to make my waist go in and how much you're going to flare it out, where you're going to put that, and if I need to modify anything. Because I will take the waist shaping out of the front and leave it in the back to give me some in the back, but not anything in the front, because let's face it, I'm an apple. Apple? I'm not a pear. I'm very solid all the way through. However, I have finished the first sleeve. Well, I think I have to knit an inch of regular stockinette, but all the increases are done. So I put the marker where I finished my increases. Some people put them wherever you do the increases, period. So, and yes, I like this color. Clearly, it's my shirt, it's my yarn. I have several sweaters worth of yarn in this color, or at least red colors. So I want it to be like this long. So as you can see, I've got a fair bit of. I can do that because it's me. I've got a fair bit of just solid stockinette to get to the armpits. It's not a big problem. I have way more yarn than is called for, because I was going to knit the Aislinn and I ripped it out. But, so there's the sleeve detail. And then it's just a basic sleeve all the way up. You knit the sleeves first, which means I will probably actually finish this, because I hate knitting sleeves. I really do. Would it be easier on DPNs? Probably not, because I would need like 2 sets of DPNs. So I magic loop it, and I'm magic looping it on a very tiny needle, because I am stubborn. This is this is the 3.75 millimeter needle, which is a US 5. These are regular Chiagos, or they're Hayahayas. They're something. They have pointy tips, but not too pointy, because I don't like them really pointy unless I'm knitting with like Wollmeise, because that one, it gets kind of splitty. So there's one. I will probably finish the stockinette portion and cast on the second sock soon. Like I said, I've got a bunch of it. My mom helped me ball it when she was here last, because I needed to rip it out. Did I soak it and reset it? No. Then why do I care about knitting sock blanks? I don't know. I'm crazy. I may have ordered some sock blanks to dye for the shop, and I may end up keeping one of them. And by may, I mean will. So let's just call it what it is. Let's lay it like it sees. Seaweed, blah blah. Let's play it like it lays. I am gonna keep one. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm gonna keep it, and if it gets screwed up, that's fine. And if it comes out great, then I'll make more of it. Because it's awesome. My idea is awesome. My head is awesome. I keep looking at myself in the thing. I'm trying to train that out of myself. I'm sorry. It's really hard. So, of course, in my birdie bag from the lovely fat squirrel or Rubenesque rodent. I'm just going to keep doing that because I find it entertaining. And I love her to pieces. I have my blankets, which I started doing like outwards, and I think I'm going to just like cap it off and go across for a bit and then do it up, because everyone I've seen is like doing it in strips. So it lays like this. Like, but it's a strip, it's a row. They keep like picking up on, I don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing, really. Let's pretend I know. Like, so I could probably just keep going like this way and just keep adding on, right? It's inverted. It's confusing me. So I have done a couple of these. As you can see, I got one on the needles. I think this one I've done, this one I've done, this one, and this one. So, forget what that is. The one I'm working on right now is Numa Numa. This one is Gnome Acres. It's Witch's Brew or Halloween something, and the bottom corner is Sock That Rock Lightweight in the Issaquah, which is a place in Washington, which I didn't know. I was like, what's Issaquah? 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 Is that how you say it? I'd have to look at it and try and say it phonetically. I know a lot of the names out here are Native American, First Nations, Aboriginal names. So I try to get them right. It's just kind of funny because it's the Squamish or the Suquamish or Snohomish. I'm Salish. I know it's the Salish in BC. I'm not sure what the dominant peoples are here, but I know that the way they speak is different than the way the Cree, the Plains Cree, where I'm from, say it. So while I may be able to read it in Cree, I would not be able to read it appropriately in their native language. Which means I just really need some Indian friends out here to tell me what to do. But, so I have worked on this. It's fun to work on. I am going to keep working on it. However, once I hit my wall, I don't know what I'm going to do. Because I have a lot of leftovers that I could turn into minis and probably swap out with people. So I could have more minis that are different minis. But I haven't gotten there yet. When I do, maybe I'll have a mini swap or something in the group. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I'm just talking to myself at this point. Actually, I'm always just talking to myself. That's what I do. So those are the things that got some work here. And I really enjoyed them. I really did. But like I said, I haven't had a lot of time where my hands haven't been hurting. So, or I've been cross-stitching because it was easier on my hands this week. And yeah. I have haul from Madrona though, because I was like, you know what, I'm on this yarn thing, this yarn diet, whatever. That's only gonna last as long as I was gonna do it until SSK and then Madrona, and I was like, you know what, I can do whatever I want. So, and it was, you know, it was what it was. It was Valentine's Day. So I was loud. I was loud, and I've done a lot of knitting lately. Okay. I also wanted to mention before I forget, because I just remembered because I looked at my thing, that Mercantile 519 sent me a pattern called Water Droplets for Flint. It's a cute little water drop that you can knit. She's raising money for Flint with this pattern and was hoping I would give her a shout out. 100% of the proceeds from the sale of this pattern after Ravelry and PayPal feeds go to the United Way of Genesee County to use as needed to help the residents of Flint deal with lead in their water. The pattern is $2.50 and available on Ravelry or through her Etsy shop, where she's also selling cat toys stuffed with catnip. So, there it is. Now I can click on many different things. They're cute little water droplets. I could see it, for $2.50, it would probably be a really good cat toy because you could stuff it with stuffing and catnip. There they are. Woo! They're cute. US $2.50. You can get it on Ravelry. The first donation was made on February 12th. It was $80, and there will be more donated further on. She also included a screenshot of the donation to the Genesee County, United Way. So if you have pets, or if you just really want to support Flint in the whole lead crisis, which is ridiculous, by the way. I am not usually very political on the podcast because I know that scares people. But I'm a First Nations person from Canada, which means I am inherently aware of the problems that are faced by Aboriginal people in Canada. One of them happens to be clean drinking water or potable water. There are often boil advisories on most reserves north of the CNR, which is the Canadian National Railway line, which is the divider for a lot of poverty in as much as reserves are concerned. Not always, because there are some very poor southern reserves, but the northern ones are usually the worst. And when I heard about this happening in the U.S., because Canada kind of just, la la la, I can't hear you. That's basically what they do when it comes to First Nations problems in regards to potable water, diabetes, or chronic suicide. The list goes ever on. But when I heard that it happened in somewhere so... It's not isolated. It's not a flying community up north in Canada where, there's friggin' polar bears and seals. This is in a first world country. This should not be a friggin' problem. People should not have to buy bottled water. We do because our septic tank sucks. I could drink the water. It just tastes like poop. There's a difference. My water's not going to kill me. I'm just being a diva. I'm being a diva. I am drinking bottled water because I'm a friggin' diva. I may as well live in California. But the fact that they have to because there's no other option, because they can't drink the water, unacceptable. Diva water there. Like, if you cannot drink the water that comes out of your tap, there is a problem. And it is a problem that should not exist anywhere where we have a first world problem. Okay? No, unacceptable. I'm not from Michigan. I understand that they have had some serious hits because of, the car stuff. But, and it's always been a tumultuous place, the Michigan. Flint particularly seems to be the subject of many documentaries, but it's just, it gets my goat, okay? It gets my goat. So go buy water droplets because they're cute and you can stick catnip in them, or you could, I don't know, could you give them they might be too small for a baby, but you can knit a cloud and stick them on that. I'm sure there's things you can think of, and it's $2.50, come on. You get a pattern for helping people. That's kind of nice. That was on my thing, and I remembered that without even having to try. So I am awesome in that. right? Oh, you can totally tell that the sinus meds are kicking in. Right, I have haul. I put it all in a Trader Joe bag because my husband actually put it all in his backpack. He's smart. He knows he's a pack mule. So he brought a backpack with like bottles of water and gum. Because we're both into gum chewing lately. So, you know, like a couple packs of gum, a couple bottles of water, and an empty backpack. Because he can put all the stuff in it and then we don't have bags to carry. And we don't have to ask for bags, which is nice because, you know, life. Respecting Mother Nature. So, we took them all out on the table. I enjoyed them all in the living room and the table in the kitchen. And then I was like, I need to just bring these over, but I want to contain them. So I grabbed our Trader Joe bag. Now, I got spoiled. Spoiled. To be fair, I got him 3 expansion packs for his card game. And a cast iron pan, which he has used every night since I gave it to him, so it's a win. I know someone had said that's not really a Valentine's Day present, and when I posted it on Instagram, it's probably the best present I've ever got him. One of them, at least. He uses that thing every day. He's obsessed with it. He just wants to keep using it, so I'm down. So one of the things I got, and we did a circuit, so we did a full circuit around, and then I decided what I wanted based on that, and I was trying to be really good. It was like, if I can get these things easier or whatever, or if they're mass produced or something, then I won't get them. Well, I cannot just run out and get socks that rock Tigger Targhee, 100% Targhee wool, approximately 405 yards. It's probably a sock or sport. It's probably a sock. And this is the Portland plaid colorway, which I really wanted to get some of, and I didn't want to have to drive to Portland to do it. I do believe it's on the website as well, but it's so squishy. It doesn't feel like yarn. I love Targhee though, because it does have a lot of squish and spring, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know that these will actually get made into socks. It may have to be made into a cowl, or maybe something brioche and big and floofy. Is it Eve or Eva? Eva? The Charm of It podcast. She just did a gorgeous brioche cowl that I'm thinking I may need to replicate, but I need to look up all the details on that. It's probably not knit for sock, but I have seen some gorgeous, like really big, roomy brioche cowls that just kind of hang. I like that because I don't like things like this. So, totally love the Portland plaid. And where can I put this? Where do I put it? I don't know. I will put it up here. Just stick things in. Okay, so another thing I got. Hold on. I'm removing the price tag. Y'all don't need to see price tags, right? I was at, I forget which booth it was, but it was a really nice booth. I got a spindle for my mother-in-law, which I did not bring in here to show you because I didn't. It is going out in the mail, I believe, tomorrow morning. But aside from spindles, they had this. Hold it back here. Yeah, that's about true. That's true right there. It's debauchery lace weight, 100% Blueface Leicester. 500 yards per skein by, it's the debauchery base by Spin Cycle Yarns in the sloth colorway. And of course they've got like this whole elaborate writing down the back. I love Spin Cycle. They're up in Bellingham, which is not too far from here. I just like their stuff. I like that they're a 2-woman operation. They have really good quality control. I like the fact that this is basically like hand spun. It is gorgeous and I love it. And it's gonna be something. I don't know what, but it's going to be something. And that is not something I can easily get here. And I have heard numerous things about and really wanted to try hazelnuts for quite some time. A lot of people really like hazelnuts, and I have seen some in person. How many times can I say the Three Little Kittens in Mendota Heights in the Minnesota area, they carried it, and I'd seen it there once or twice, and they didn't have colorways that really turned my head. That's really the problem. It's like, well, I could buy it just for the sake of buying it because I want to try some of the yarn, or I could buy something I know I'm going to knit in a color I like. This is the artisan sock, or artisan sock, artisan, however you prefer to say that word. It's a 90% superwash merino, 10% nylon, and this is the Emerald City colorway, which is, yeah, like, it's that pretty. Aside from the fact that Seattle is the Emerald City and I am born in May, which is the Emerald month, it's just, it needed to come home with me. It needs to be knit, and it wants to be a Lord of the Rings sock. It told me, and I was listening to it, so now it just needs to pick which sock it wants to be. Apparently Hazelnuts is out of Seattle. I did not know that. There it says Seattle, Washington. Hazelnuts.com. Emerald City is gorgeous. I want to start knitting it right away, but that's not going to happen. And the last two things I picked up is from Solitude Wool, which is out of Loudoun County, Virginia, which is solitudewool.com. They had these, and I could go either way on if I need more fiber, because I have been spinning a lot of fiber. I did spin a giant chunk of fiber, but I still have a whole ton left. But these are stuff I have never spun before, which is why I felt okay picking them up. My eyeshadow looks hideous in this, on this. I'm sorry, I did not mean to make myself look jaundiced. It looks pretty in real life. So this is 100% Clun Forest wool down, dyed in the wool with undyed white, carded roving, suitable for woolen or semi-worsted spinning techniques, approximately 4 ounces, color tropical blue-green 2. So it's gorgeous, and I felt it, and it's really soft. Like, they had a couple other breeds I hadn't tried, like a caracal or a couple of long wools, and I'm like, no. I have some long wools from being in the Spunky Club, and it's like, you know what? I'm never going to knit with a long wool. I'm just not. If I want a long wool, I'm not going to take the time to spin it and then knit it. I'm going to go get me some Lopi and call it a day. So I felt this, and it feels nice. It's not like superwash merino 19 micron cashmere feel, but it's probably along the lines of a Biffle or a really nice Romney, or it felt good. I knew I would put it next to my skin, so I picked this one up. And because these were really cheap, well, not really cheap, but for 4 ounces, that's pretty cheap. This one is Clun Forest in Tunis, and I've never spun Tunis either. It's also Solitude Wool, 50% Clun Forest blended with 50% Tunis, down and medium, dyed in the wool and undyed white, carded roving, suitable for woolen or semi-worsted. It is approximately 4 ounces in the colorway Winter Sunset. And again, this one's softer, so the Tunis must be softer. But oh my goodness, there you go. It's very heathery, it's blues with like a purpley pink, and I think when you blend it out, it's all gonna look really purple. There we go. Like, look at that. I want to bathe in it. I could bathe in it. Can I bathe in it? There exists a picture of me when Alicia got like a bag full of carded fleece from her grandmother. There exists a picture of me just like crawling into the garbage bag and trying to sleep in it. It's been a while though. It's been a while since I've crawled into a garbage bag of fleece, but I'm not above it. Don't kid yourself. So, the last two things on my list are the Q&A, and before I hit the Q&A, while I boot her up, I wanted to mention that I have found 2 new podcasts that I've been enjoying. One hasn't had a podcast since the Christmas New Year time, which is Knitting in the City, and she's out of the Netherlands, and she's adorable. She really entertained me. So, Knitting in the City, which is on YouTube, and the other one, because of the joint knit along, is the Kill to Craft podcast, who is Vanessa. And I like her tattoos. I like the way she thinks. I love her book recommendations. So you should go check her out. I believe she's British. Some sort of British. Some sort of British? Is that a thing? You're some sort of British. I can't separate them out in my head. I know when you live in like London or the UK of any kind, you can tell by the dialects. It's like Canadians, I can tell a Newfoundlander from an Albertan. But I'm pretty sure Americans can't. Okay, so where am I? Okay, so I think Kent, you were the last person I answered, so I have 2 more that I will now proceed to answer before calling it a day. And if you want to put any questions in the Q&A thread, feel free to. I will answer them on the podcast. Tawny1 has a simple question. Do you have a favorite place setting to knit, and blurring into the floss tube, is it the same place you like to stitch? I knit in every room of the house except the bathroom, because I don't like knitting where I poop. I don't like knitting in the bathtub either, which is kind of funny because you can get yarn wet. It just bugs me. I would never do it. I read in the bath. I kind of read in the bathtub. I don't like doing anything when I'm bathing. If I'm in the bathtub to relax, I'm going to relax, and I'm just going to sit there and soak in the yummy. But I don't like taking my knitting into the same room I poop. Having said that, I will knit anywhere else in the house. My spot, so to speak, is on the right-hand side of the couch. It used to be the left-hand side, but my husband was getting really annoyed by the fact that, like, all my crafts would be in a pile in front of me. So if I sit on the right-hand side, there's a bit of space between the wall and the couch where I can hide things, and that doesn't bug him. It is also right next to the lamp, which gives me the best light for any of my crafting endeavors. It's next to the window, it's next to the door. That's usually where I am. Having said that, I'm not sure it's my favorite place, it's just my place, it's my spot. I don't really have a favorite place. Mostly because I can knit pretty much anywhere. I can't cross-stitch pretty much anywhere. I always cross-stitch on the couch in that spot. Or anywhere along the couch. Like, I might move over to his side when he's gone because that's next to the fireplace and I may choose to be warmer. But in general, I'll knit anywhere as long as it's not where I poop. Can I say poop one more time? Poop. Poop, poop, poop. If there are small children, they are giggling maniacally, but that's not a swear word. Yeah. And Fergus. I had a friend named, her last name was Ferguson. Have I ever tried knitting 2 socks at the same time? Shelley. Well, Shelley, no. The answer is no. I do want to try. It's on my list of things that I would like to learn, or at least to give a shot to, but here's my problem. I've tried knitting 2 sleeves at the same time to save myself the second sleeve syndrome because I hate knitting sleeves, and that did not work out, and I had to break them out into 2. Like, I literally let it languish and did not want to do it because I had to pick it up and do 2 at the same time. So I'm wondering if I would have that same problem with socks. I have always managed to just bang them out one at a time. I don't get second sock syndrome. It's not a big deal to me to start the second one. In fact, I'm kind of jazzed to do it because I'm so much closer to having a pair. I might give it a go, though. I would like to give it a go, or at least try it once before I fully don't like it. So that is the answer to your question. Feel free to put more questions in the Q&A thread. Or, just say what's up. Now, if you're watching me on Friday, you may know there's going to be a shop update at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And if you are doing that, then you know that this is the last run of stripes pretty much until October at the minimum. We will be having some classics. I really don't want my whole thing to fall down here. So I'm just going to show you a couple that are going to be in there. Again, these are ones you've already seen. There's going to be, there will be, learn how to talk there, Sadie. There will be, of course, Splatterpunk and Electric Funeral, which is going to be on the giant base, which is 490 yards. So you can do a shawl. I also have the Progressives, which are 4 colors. You can see the 4 colors, and it goes from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 as you knit it. And that's going to be in there. So shop update is at 6. Feel free to stop by and see if there's anything left, if you are watching this on Saturday or what have you. Again, that's the last call for stripes. Once those are gone, those are not going to be coming back until October, maybe, because it's, Halloween and I'm going to want to do the Tim Burton run. But it depends. It really depends. Doing this particular one, I've shown myself that I do not have that ability yet. The variegates will keep coming, though. I will be doing more Starman this week. I will be doing more Shadow of Olympians. I will be getting some more variegate colorways in. I'm going to be varying some bases now. And, of course, as I mentioned, there's going to be sock blanks, which is all at knittersnightmare.com if you want updates or if you want to know. There's the Ravelry group, Knitters Nightmare Yarn and Fiber, or there's a Facebook group, Knitters Nightmare Yarn and Fiber, which I'm going to try and update better. That is pretty much everything I have to record for you for this week. It's a long one. I hope you had ample beverages. I will see you again next week. Bye.